Hi everyone, we are the Group 10. Our report in this morning is all about marketing system false advertising. So, when we say marketing system, is the network of buyers, sellers, and other factors comes together to trade in a given product or service. So, when you say false advertising, misleads the consumers or includes false statement or deceptive statements made intentionally or recklessly to promote the sale of property, goods, or services to the public. So, parang dito sa false advertising, parang gumagawa lang sila ng mga kuro-kuro or hindi makatotohanan about sa product nila para mabenta lang nila. So, sa marketing system, pumapasok dito yung advertising is a form of communication for marketing and used to encourage, persuade, or manipulate an audience like the viewers, readers, listeners, or sometimes a specific group to continue or take some new action. So, advertising is at marketing communications that employs an openly sponsored and to promote activity which aims to sell product or services to a target. So, dito parang kasali din pala yung political and geological advertising. Parang hindi lang naman pala product yung ina-advertise, kasali din yung political and geological advertising pero with respect. So, now, parang yung political and geological advertising is also common ngayon kasi nga malapit ng election, 'di ba? So, next is in Latin, advertere means to turn the mind toward. So, the purpose of advertising may also be to reassure employees or shareholders that a company is viable or successful, 'di ba? Siyempre kapag nag-a-advertise tayo, ano ba yung aim mo, 'di ba? Para malaman nila, 'di ba? Para malaman nila yung product mo or yung mga services mo, ganun. So, ang aim mo dito is para lumago or maging successful yung business mo. So, you need to advertise it through uploading or uploading to encourage the consumer or the target audience. So, advertising message are usually paid for by sponsors and viewed via various traditional media, including mass media such as newspaper, magazine, television, commercial, and etc. So, advertising message is an informations prepared by an advertiser to inform and persuade an audience regarding a product, organization, or idea. Commercial advertisers often seek to generate increased consumptions of their products or service through branding, which involves associating a product name or image with certain qualities in the minds of consumers. So, commercial advertisers. So, when you advertise the one product, you need the brand name and image. So, examples, kapag mag-advertise ka ng Coca-Cola tapos yung in-advertise mo lang is yung brand name lang which is the Coca-Cola, wala siyang image. So, yung mga consumer magtataka sila kung ano kayo yung image, ano kayo yung itsura ng Coca-Cola na sinasabi. So, when you advertise it, you need the brand name and the image para maging memorable sa mga consumer. Non-commercial advertisers who spend money to advertise items other than a consumer product or service include the political parties, interest group, religious organization, and governmental agencies. So, halimbawa dyan yung political parties. So, nag-i-spend sila ng money pero wala silang product na tinitinda. So, halimbawa na lamang ngayon, di ba? Parang yung ibang politiko, nagbibigay sila ng 3,000, ganon. So, non-commercial advertisers ang tawag doon. Internationally, we have the largest or big four advertising conglomerates, which is the Interpublic, Omnicom, Publicis, and the WPP. So, history of Egyptian used papyrus to make sales messages and wall poster for advertising. So, papyrus, they use wall or rock painting for commercial advertising, is another manifestations of an ancient advertising form which is present to this day in many parts of Asia, Africa, and South America. So, in the 18th century, advertisements start to appear in weekly newspaper in England. So, these early print advertisements were used mainly to promote books and the newspaper, which became increasingly affordable with advance in the printing press and medicines which are increasingly sought after as disease ravaged Europe. So, however, false advertising and so-called quack advertisement became a problem which users in regulations of advertising content. 19th century, Thomas J. Barrett from London has been called the father of modern advertising. Working for the Pierce Soap Company, Barrett created an effective advertising campaign. So, he used slogan, image, and phrases to advertise the product. One of his slogans is, "Good morning, have you used Pierce Soap?" So, was famous in its day and well into the 20th. So, we have a different advertisement. An 1895 advertisement for a weight gain product. So, in this product, they use image and slogan to promote their product. Next is in 20th century, they use a print advertisement for the 1930 issue of the Encyclopedia Britannica. So, next is on the ratio from the 1920s. So they use radio stations were established by radio equipment manufacturers and retailers who offered programs in order to sell more radios to consumers. So they use radio station to promote their product, which is the radio. So next is the advertisement of hotels in Pichilemu or Chile from 1935. So a recent advertising innovation is guerrilla marketing, which involves unusual approaches such as staged encounters in public places. Guerrilla marketing is an advertisement strategy in which a company uses surprise and unconventional interactions in order to promote a product. So that's why guerrilla advertising is becoming increasingly more popular with a lot of companies. Under of advertising theory is the hierarchy of effect models. It clarifies of objectives of an advertising campaign and for each individual advertisement. The model suggests that there are 6 steps of consumer or a business buyer moves through when making a purchase. The steps are awareness, knowledge, liking, preference, conviction, and the purchase. So when it comes of awareness, this is the most crucial steps and the starting points for purchase. Brand must make sure that the consumer is aware of the presence of your brand in a particular product segment. So next is the knowledge. This is where your product will be evaluated against other brands by the consumer. Make sure enough positive knowledge is available about your product through the internet, retail stores, and the product package itself. So, next is the liking. This is where the consumer builds a liking to your product. This is where your product is being considered for its emotional benefits. Be sure to make them prominent. Next is the preference. By this time, consumer may be convinced to try out your product, but may like other brands of toothbrush too. So what is that will make her prefer XYZ over the other brands? These points of differentiations or unique selling points need to be highlighted to make sure that the consumers like your brand more than the others in her consideration list. Next is the conviction. This is the stage where the doubt in consumers' minds about buying the product of your brand names to be converted into action. Marketers can aid in this step by giving out free samples, disk drives, etc. This step should also decide if the consumer will stick to your brand. Example, actually buy your brand or switch after testing the sample. So lastly is the purchase. The last and the most crucial stage of the consumer buying cycle in the purchase. You need to make sure that the purchase experience is easy and perhaps even enjoyable for the consumer. Some of the ways to encourage purchase is by keeping simple multiple paying options, making the product available easily, easy to understand usage instructions, offers, and etc. The second is the leverage point under of advertising theory. It is designed to move the consumer from understanding a product benefits to linking those benefits with personal.
Hi guys, this is Jen Erfe from BSIT 3B And for today's video, I'm going to discuss the different type of advertising. So let's start in the marketing mix. So the marketing mix has been the key concept of advertising. The marketing mix was suggested by Professor E. Jerome McCarthy in the 1960s. The marketing mix consists of four basic elements called the 4 Ps. Product is the first P representing the actual product. Price represents the process of determining the value of product. Place represents the varieties of getting the product to the consumer like distribution, channels, market coverage, and movement organization. The last P stands for promotion, which is the process of reaching the target market and convincing them to go out and buy the product. Let's proceed to the television advertising or music in advertising. The TV commercial is generally considered the most effective mass market advertising format, as is reflected by the high prices TV networks charge for commercial airtime during popular TV events. Some television commercials feature a song or jingle that listeners soon relate to the product. Virtual advertisement may be inserted into regular television programming through computer graphics. So the television advertising or music in advertising, this is generally the most effective advertising sa mass market. Dahil mataas ang singil ng mga TV network sa mga commercial airtime sa mga popular TV events. Some TV commercial ay through jingle or songs dahil mas na-feel ng mga listener ang product. And now let's go to infomercial. An infomercial is a long format television commercial, typically 5 minutes or longer. The main objective in an infomercial is to create an impulse purchase so that the consumer sees the presentation and then immediately buys the product through the advertised toll-free telephone number or website. Infomercial describe displays and often demonstrate products and their features. So infomercial is a long-format television commercial na madalas or most of the time nagtatagal ng 5 minutes or more. Ang main objective ng infomercial ay ang mag-create ng impulse purchase, which is yung mga tao ay bibili agad ng product through toll-free telephone number or website after nila makita yung advertisement. And now, let's go to radio advertising. So radio advertising is a form of advertising via medium of radio. Radio advertisement are broadcast as radio waves to the air from a transmitter to an antenna and thus to a receiving device. Airtime is purchased from a station or network in exchange for airing commercial. So from the word radio, this is a form of advertisement na naibro-broadcast sa radio during their airtime. And now, let's go to online advertising. Online advertising is a form of promotion that uses the internet and World Wide Web for the express purpose of delivering marketing messages to attract customers. online ads are delivered by an server. So, ang online advertising is a form of promotion na ginagamitan ng internet or World Wide Web na ginagamit nila para maibigay ang mga message na maakit nila ang mga customers. And now, let's go to new media. Technological development and economic globalization favors the emergence of new communication channels and new techniques of commercial messaging. So, ang new media, ito naman ay yung pagpapaunlad nila ng technological at economic globalization na paboran ang mga naglalabasang mga bagong channels at mga bagong pamamaraan ng commercial. So now, we are here in the product placement. Product placement. Covert advertising, also known as guerrilla advertising, is when a product or brand is embedded in entertainment and media. For example, in a film, the main character can use an item or other definite brand. So, ang product placement, also known as guerrilla advertising, ito yung kapag ang product ay or brand is naka-embed sa entertainment media. Example, sa isang pelikula, ang main character ay maaaring gumamit ng isang item or isa pang brand. And now, let's move to press advertising. Press advertising describes advertising in a printed medium such as newspaper, magazine, or trade journal. A form of press advertising is classified advertising, which allows private individuals or companies to purchase a small, narrowly targeted ad for a low-fee advertising a product or service. So from the word press, ang advertising na ito ay through printed sa newspaper, magazine, or trade journal. Next is the billboard advertising. Billboards are large structures located in public places which displays advertisement to a passing pedestrian and motorist. Most often, they are located on main roads with a large amount of passing motors and pedestrian traffic. However, they can be placed in any location with large amount of viewers, such as on mass transit vehicles and in a station, in shopping malls or office building, and in a stadium. So, ang billboard advertising, ito yung mga large structure na located sa mga public places. Madalas nakalagay ito sa mga main roads na maraming dumadaan na motorist. Another is, nakalagay din ito sa mga shopping malls, office building, or sa mga e-stadium. And now, let's go to in-store advertising. In-store advertising is any advertisement placed in a retail store. It includes placement of a product in visible location in a store, such as at eye level and near checkout counters, aka POP o pop-of purchase displays. Eye-catching displays promoting a specific product and advertisement in such places as a shopping cart and in-store video display. So, ang in-store advertisement, ito naman yung kind ng advertisement na nakalagay sa mga retail stores. And now, let's move to coffee cup advertising. Coffee cup advertising is any advertisement placed upon a coffee cup that is distributed out of an office, cafe, or drive-through coffee shop. This form of advertising was first popularized in Australia and has begun growing in popularity in the United States, India, and some part of Middle East. So, ang coffee cup advertising, ito naman yung type ng advertising na naka-place upon a coffee cup na dinidistribute nila sa coffees, cafe, drive-thru coffee shop. Itong kind ng advertising is unang naging popular sa Australia at nagsimulang mag-grow sa United States at sa ibang part ng. Next is the mobile billboard advertising, are generally vehicle-mounted billboards or digital screens. This can be on dedicated vehicles built solely for carrying advertisement along routes, pre-selected by clients. They can also be specialized equipped by cargo trucks or in some cases, large banners strewn from planes. So ang mobile billboard advertising, ito yung klase ng advertising na generally dedicated sa mga vehicles. Maaari din silang maging specialized equipment sa mga cargo truck in some cases at sa mga large banners from planes. Next is the street advertising. This type of advertising first came to prominence in the UK by street advertising services to create outdoor advertising on street, furniture, and pavements. The media became an affordable and effective tool for getting brand messages out into public spaces. So, ang street advertising ay nagsimula sa UK. Ang street advertising services ay naging affordable at effective para sa kanila dahil mas mapapadali sa kanila ang makapaglabas ng brand sa mga public places. Next is the sheltered outdoor advertising. This type of advertising opens the possibility of combining outdoor with indoor advertisement by placing large mobile structure, tents in public places on the temporary basis. The large outdoor advertising space exerts a strong pull on the observer. The product is promoted indoor where the creative decor can intensify the impression. So, ang sheltered outdoor advertising, ito yung klase ng advertising na posibleng mag-combine ang mga indoor advertisement by placing large mobile structure, tents sa mga public places. And now, let's move to celebrity branding. This type of advertising focuses upon using celebrity power, fame, money, popularity to gain recognition for their product and promote specific stores or product. Advertisers often advertise their product, for example, when celebrities share their favorite products or wear clothes by specific brands or designers. So, this type of advertising naman is nakafocus sa mga paggamit sa mga celebrity power, fame, money, popularity para ma-promote ang mga product nila. Ang advertiser ay madalas ina-advertise ang mga product. Example, pag ang celebrity ay ginagamit ang kanilang product or sinusuot yung mga different clothes by specific designer or brand. Next is the consumer-generated advertising. This involves getting consumers to generate advertising through blogs, websites, wikis, and forums for some kind of payment. Let's move to false advertising. False advertising or deceptive advertising is the use of false or misleading statement in advertising. As advertising has the potential to persuade the people into commercial transactions that they might otherwise avoid. Many governments around the world use regulation to control false, deceptive, or misleading advertising. Truth refers to essentially the same concept that customers have the right to know what they are buying and that all necessary information should be on the label. So from the word false, ito yung mga advertising na mapanlin lang. Paggamit ng mga hindi totoo at maling pahayag sa advertisement or sa advertising, ginagamit nila ito para ma-persuade ang mga buyers o mga tao na bumili ng kanilang mga products. And the last part is the going out of business sales. In many cases, liquidators hired to sell merchandise from closing store will actually raise the prices on items that were already marked down on clearance. For items already marked down, this means the liquidator increases the price and then discounts it from there. Also, common is for the sale prices at the retail chains, other store to be lower than liquidators' prices at the closing stores. So, itong going out of business sale, ito yung liquidators na nag-hired na maibenta ang mga merchandise or products nila sa mga closing stores. Ito yung nagbibigay sila ng mga malalaking discount o mas mababa na sa original prices ang mga
Misuse of the word free. The usual meaning of free, devoid, cause obligation, however, retail often, which the word something which is merely include the overall price. One common example is buy one get one free sale. The second item is not free under the normal definition since to the obtain it the buyer is obligated to pay the full cost of the first item. Filler oversize and packaging. Some products are sold with fillers, which increase the legal weight of the product with something that costs the procedure very little compared to the customer think that he is buying. Food is an example of this where meat injected with both or even brine up to 15%. Or TV diners are filled with gravy and other sauce instead of meat. Malt and cacao butter have been used as a filler in peanut butter. Manipulation of terms. Many terms have some meaning, but the specific extent is not legally defined to leading other abuse. A frequent example, until the term gained and the legal definition, was organic food, light food, and also even more common manipulation in the term has been variously used to mean tobacco companies for many years use term like low tar, light tar, ultra light, mild or natural. In other imply that products with such a labels had less detrimental effect on health, but in the recent years, in the was proved that those terms were considered misleading. Incomplete comparison. Better means one item is superior to the another way, while the best mean is superior while others in some way, however advertised frequently, fail to the least way each they are being competitor product and earlier version of their own product. Not nothing at all. So without defining how they use the term better or best, the term become meaningless. An ad which claim out cold medicine is better could be just saying is an improvement over taking nothing at all. Inconsist comparison. Is unconsist comparison an item compared with many others but compared with each on the attributes where it wins leaving the false impression that it is competitor. Acceptance by default. So this is the meaning. This refers a contract agreement to the responsible interrupted and positive response in favor of a business. An example of this is customer must acceptably out of a particular feature or service or be charged of the feature service. Another example where a subscription automatically renew unless the customer specific request into stop. Undisclosed dishonest business practice. Bank of example will sometimes recover charge against the account of maximize the number of overdraft. The bank process are the largest charge occurs with first closing the account. From more false advertising to more false advertising. So we have customer people brought, profit amount earned, production quality manufactured. False advertisements meet and arrive. The more false advertise, the more customer, the more profit, the more production, the more false advertising. So, yung susunod naman, customer people brought, profit amount earned, production quality manufactured, false advertisement earned. Tapos yung nasa gilid niya, complainant list reported, and lawsuit charge field. So, we have R and B. Then, susunod naman, yung tatlo na. False advertising, production quality, manufactured, scientific investigation. So, meron ding financial adult, lawsuit, and completion. So, we have R, B, at B din. So, yun. The more false advertised, the more customer, the more profit, the more financial. The more scientific test, the less production, the less false advertising.